So it's another updated video. Yesterday we got the crash that I was expecting. I didn't expect it to be that soon, but I kind of knew a crash was coming. So here's what I'm doing right now. This is not investment advice, just what I'm doing. I currently have I have investments in gold, in silver. I am not unwinding those. Those are my insurance policies. I'm keeping those forever. Those are to preserve wealth. Oil has dropped quite a bit, so I'm starting to scale into oil to kind of hedge against inflation that may come down the road. I've unwound a lot of my short positions, and I am going long the stock markets, both Nasdaq and Dow, and I shouldn't say both, the Nasdaq, the Dow, and the S&P. And because I believe the U.S. economy is still on good footing, so I see it as a good buying opportunity. And I believe that Trump is going to get the markets to rally just because of what he's done. And I think that there's going to be something miraculous that happens in the marketplace because of his economic policies. Forgive it for being shaky. I had a lot of coffee this morning. And I'm trying to do a quick video so that it's timely. And I also want to make it short. Let's see, what else have I been doing? Cryptocurrencies. I'm still holding my cryptocurrencies. I am not buying more Bitcoin. I have not been buying Bitcoin for a long time. I said if it dropped below 5,000, I'd probably buy more. And I'm still not sure about that though, because Bitcoin is an algorithm, it's a technology, and technology tends to be, trendy. And so when the trend tends to go down, if they find another altcoin that has more promise than Bitcoin, Bitcoin's done in my view. So I have Bitcoin, I'm holding it, and I'm not going to sell it until price is like 100,000, if that ever happens. Excuse me. And if that doesn't happen, I don't care. Whatever. It's a turd in the wind, to quote a phrase from one of my favorite movies that came out, Venom. And the critics were all against it. I mean, the movie could have been better, of course. All movies could be better, but just based upon the comic books. I mean, when I was younger, I was a major comic book collector, and I loved Venom. Venom was one of my favorite. He's not really a villain, and he's not really a hero, but they say anti-hero. I don't really like that kind of term, but he's one of my favorite characters, to say the least. So I was thoroughly pleased with the movie, even though the storyline's a little different, and I'm excited to see the Carnage video that comes out. But yesterday was semi-Carnage, and I expected that. So do I think we're going to go into global depression yet? Collapse? No, not yet. We're already in it. So but it's not going to be, to me, a fast process. To me, it's going to be a steady, slow decline globally, and Trump has been separating us from that globalism. So everybody who's still holding hands while they're going off the cliff, they're going off the cliff together, and Trump has been shaking his grip off of those people so that when they go over the cliff, we're still on good footing. And as long as we're on good footing, we will be the anchor of the world. So I love to hear the Democrats. They're right away in there criticizing Trump because of the crash. But watch, when the markets go up, Obama's going to appear again, and he's going to be like, oh yeah, the economy's good because of my years as president, blah, blah, blah. Whatever, freaking loser. You're one of the globalists, and you were giving money to everybody around the world. We've even got videos. If you don't believe that, go look at the pallets of money that Obama sent to Iran. Billions of dollars that just ended up on tarmac in Iran on pallets. And that's documented, and that's actual. It's not conspiracy theory. It's fact. So you can go check that out. So what do I think is going to happen in the markets? Given the economic data, the U.S. is strong. And given that we are energy independent. Now, Trump said we're energy independent. I don't think he just said it to say it. I think we actually are energy independent because they opened up the ANWR reserves in Alaska, and also because of the tax incentives from the tax cuts and credits that he's been implementing. A lot of our drilling rigs have been coming back. So I believe we actually are energy independent, and you can see it by the way the U.S. is talking to Saudi Arabia. I mean, we're basically spanking them. We're telling them, hey, you better not be murdering journalists, because there was that Washington Post journalist that ended up disappearing after he was photographed entering a Saudi embassy or a Saudi building. I can't remember if it was an embassy or some kind of other government building, and he never came out in one piece. At least they think that they murdered him there and chopped him up and transported his body out in bags. And so Washington Post is pissed about that. Was it the Washington Post? It's Washington something, one of the journals. I think it was Washington Post. And Trump is also saying that, hey, you need our protection, you're going to have to pay us for it. So Saudi Arabia is getting spanked when historically we've been partners with them since the FDR days when Saudi Aramco was formed and OPEC began. Now we're energy independent, so all those oil companies around the world, oil countries around the world cannot hold us over a barrel because we produce everything here. And you can see it in the price of oil. They can raise the price of oil all they want, and it's not really going to affect our oil prices here. It may affect gas because gas is still a refining issue, and that's a slightly separate business. And so the gas refiners can still charge. And because the Democrats in many of the Democratic states like to tax fuel, especially here in California, on the next ballot, they're going to have the vote yes on Prop 6, which repeals the gas tax that Jerry Brown signed in. Well, supposedly that's what it's supposed to do. I haven't really looked into it yet completely. But Democrats like to make money off of the rising oil prices. They love taxes, and they find a way to tax everything. So it's to their benefit to have oil prices rise, which hurts you, the consumer, who is actually driving to work to try to make money to feed your family. They're stealing money from your pockets. You really got to think about that. If you're a Democrat, you really got to start thinking for once. Stop supporting these dummies, these thieves, I should say, not dummies. They're smart. If you support them, you're not the smart one. You're a little slow. You need to get in there and start voting Republican. So this little blue trickle that they're talking about coming the next election is ridiculous. It's going to be a freaking red tsunami. So vote Republican, because Republicans will put money back in your pocket. They're going to put money in their pockets too. That's all right. As long as I'm getting money in mine, I don't care where their money goes. And Democrats, if the Democrats were that way, I would be a Democrat, but they're not. Democrats are only about putting money in their pockets. They take it from yours to do so. That's why all these movies that come out, they keep remaking the Robin Hood movie. And I really hate that person. That character is not a hero. He's stealing from the rich and giving to the poor, and they demonize the rich. And yes, there are some rich people who are like the sheriff of Nottingham, who are evil, and they steal from the poor. But to me, those are the Democrats who are doing that. So if Robin Hood is a Republican, and he's stealing from the Democrats to give to the poor, ultimately I hate thieves. The reality of it is, even if the Democrats are stealing from a thief makes you a thief. So you're no better than the thieves. There's better solutions to that. It's better to have an economy where we all make money, and I think Trump is setting that up. So even if the world economy collapses and we go down with it a little bit, we're on a better footing to start anew. And that's why as the markets crash, I'm buying in again. And it's scary because, an 830-point drop in the Dow is scary. A 350-point drop in the NASDAQ is scary. But it takes balls to get back into the market and recognize value. And I don't believe the debt bubble is collapsing yet. Interest rates are not high enough, and the Treasury yields are going to come down because they had a successful auction on the 30-year or the 10-year. I can't remember which one. I just looked it up real quick this morning just to see. So that should stabilize bond markets. That should stabilize all the other markets. So that's my update. You guys take a good one. This is not financial advice. If you want to follow what I'm doing, that's up to you. You assume all responsibility and claim all liability for loss or gains. And like I said, if you make gains and you want to take me out to lunch, by all means, I'll go to lunch with you. But don't blame me for when you lose stuff, right? You're an adult. You take responsibility for what you do, just like I do. I'm going to start shorting the markets again next time I hear the Dow has reached another record high. I may start to scale in. I'm not going to just pile in. I'm going to ladder my shorts. So as the markets are going up, I don't know if it's up this way for you based upon the video. It's probably this way if you're looking at it. Whatever. If the markets are going up, the whole point of it is if they're going up, I'm going to scale into my shorts again because, again, global economy is not good. All right? You guys have a good one. Take care. Bye.